community partner was Black Mesa Indigenous Support. They work in the Four Corners regions, mostly in Arizona, but the group is really decentralized. There's a lot of people that work from California. The person that I was working with personally, his name is Derek, and he's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So this group is, they're a collective that is based out of Arizona, and the purpose of the group is to help build solidarity for online resistors down in the Navajo reservation in northeastern Arizona. What has happened is the land has been partitioned, and there are people, there are Navajos who are still living on the Hopi partition land who are resisting being moved. And a lot of the families that still live on the HPL are older people, and they need a lot of support. So what BMIS does is they gather together supporters, and they invite people to come down year-round. They also work on anti-coal movements, and they're right now trying to focus on water rights. Recently, the Navajo Nation sold 30,000 cubic acre feet, I believe is what it is, of water every year to be pushed out into Nevada and California and other areas from the Navajos who are living on the HPL. So what most of our project was a caravan that has been happening for the last 3 years. What BMIS has set up is essentially they invite people from different regions around North America and really anywhere else that wants to come to organize people within their communities around the issues, and to come down for a week, stay with the family, help those families out. And what they're trying to do through this is build momentum through the caravan to get on-land supporters to come throughout the year. So our project focused mainly around that. We had from about August to November to try to gain support, and so we tried to bring it out to the community, and we tried focusing on we did a film showing of a movie called Broken Rainbow, which focuses on the issues that are happening currently and what has been happening since about the 1800s to the lands down there. And then the second part of our project was actually going down there and spending the week down there. And so from the 20th to the 27th, we drove down to Arizona, to the northeastern part, and we spent a week there helping out a family. And Alex will tell you about our experience down there and what we did.
So when we got there, we first met up with everyone from the caravan from all over the United States and Canada and other countries in South America as well. And we gathered, and we were dispersed into different families. Luckily, the group from Salt Lake, there's about 5 of us, we got to stay with the same family. And his name was Sosiazi. He is an elder that, he's actually signed a lease for the land, a 60-year lease. So he's not part, well, he's part of the resisting elders because they're trying to remove them eventually off the land. But most elders don't have as much help as he does. He does have a lot of family that visits him every weekend. So because of the family that does move away, that's why they do need the help. They need the help doing the daily tasks that they are used to doing over the years that are very traditional to them that they can't perform anymore because they are getting older. So every day, what they would do is the sheep to them are really spiritual. It's their, I guess, the animal that they feel is their holy animal. And every day we got to experience going out and herding the sheep for a couple of hours. We'd leave around 10. And he has like a huge land, so we got to walk with the sheep, and the sheepdogs helped a lot. Now, it's not the same case as for every family. Every family has their own problems. Not as many sheep herding dogs actually do the job. They don't have sheep herders to help herd them. So we got to go out there a couple hours, come back, and then they knew their way home. They just needed to know when to come back. So around 4 or 5, we'd go out there and start herding them in the right direction.
One of the big problems is the sheep would get lost sometimes. But for Sosiazi, he had about 9 sheepdogs that would go out, and they would protect the sheep for the most part. But I had friends who were staying with other families who didn't have the sheepdogs to help out, and they had to go on 8-hour walk-arounds with the sheep to essentially make sure that they're okay, keep them in line.
So on most of the reservation land, they have very worn down buildings and structures. So what we got to do is we got to help lay down the foundation for one of the new structures that they wanted, because everything's built with, I guess, scraps, you could say, from around their yard. Like, you could call it junk, but that's just basically what they have to work with. So because of the years of wearing, that's one thing that we did get to help with. And then the sheep corral as well, it was very old and it was deteriorating very slow because of the years it's been there. So we had to help take it down and relocate it because it was very kind of gross.
When sheep live somewhere for so long, they do everything there, and after a while, everything builds up, and so.
Not very fun.
So this was kind of the experience that they tried to put people through. It was week long. It was very rapid. It was you go down, you do this very quickly, and it was kind of really fast paced. And it was just a lot of energy, and we had to get things done because we only have this week. And so for me personally, learning from this experience, I think learning from service, what I learned from service learning from service learning. I had always known about service learning, and I'd always wanted to be civically engaged in some way. I wanted to help out and be socially active. And in fact, this project was something that I was interested in before the class, and I actually contacted Liz and I asked her if this would be an okay project to actually take into the class, because if I wasn't going to, I was going to be doing it anyway. And I'm really glad I was able to do it for the class because it turned out to be a lot of effort to be put in. So, as opposed to coming in and learning about some brand new social problem or that you can go out there and actually move, I learned how much energy and how much time that are really put into these things that people do, especially going down and being able to network with people from BMIS who actually, this is one of the largest part of their lives, and people who've been doing this for 15 years and going down and living with families for years on time, that there's a lot of energy and a lot of heart that really needs to be able to go into these things. And so really it's kind of opened my eyes to how to do things and how to go about things and how to really push things to try to happen and how to contact the right people and things like that.
I guess what I've learned is that being how young we are, we can actually really make a change. I never really thought that I could or anything. Coming into this class, when I first got the syllabus, I was like, great, more stress outside of the class because of all my other credits and everything. So I had no idea that this would be such a great experience, and just being down there and everything for a week just opened my eyes to, I guess, a different world that needs help. So. Oh yeah, and I'm half now. That was kind of cool.
And actually, we plan to kind of progress this and move on with this. This project has become something that both me and Alex have become kind of invested in, and we want to take it beyond even working in class. And we plan on trying to build more awareness and try to build a regional group in Salt Lake that can help move people towards the reservations to go down there and be able to volunteer. So there's somewhere that people can actually go. That's one of the big things, is that because BMIS is so decentralized and kind of they let people operate very independently, and they want people to operate independently, it was kind of hard to find ground and find out what to do, and really we were doing a lot of self-directing, which was kind of more difficult for us. But so what we want to do is build some infrastructure here that people can actually come to and be able to volunteer with that, as well as working with local environmental groups, because BMIS is so directly tied to the environmental issues that are happening on the reservation right now. So, thank you.